someone that we love them. It is the love that Christ had for us. He loved us enough that He died for us. He loved us enough that He laid down His life for us. And He's saying that's the kind of love I want you to have one towards another, that you ought to have as friends. He who knew no sin became sin, being willing to lay down His life for a servant or a slave. But a man will lay down his life for his friends. And that's exactly why Jesus calls us friends, because He doesn't see us as we're servants, He's the master. He sees us on a deeper and a better relationship than that. He sees us as friends. And we have that friend in Jesus. We are His friends. And then I see a third thing. I see the assessment of that friendship. How can we know that we're His friend? He's certainly proven that He is our friend. But how can we show that we are His friends? He says in verse number 14, "Ye are my friends, if ye do whatsoever I command you." The test and the assessment of whether we are truly the friends of Christ is revealed in our obedience to His commands. You know, friends help each other out. I remember when I was dating my wife, and we had a quick courtship. We started dating in August, engaged by November, and married by March. And it's been 21 wonderful years. Praise the Lord. But sometime in that 6 months or so of dating that we had, she was house sitting for her boss. She worked at Wake Forest University, and her boss had went out of town on a trip, and she would have to house sit, and because she had cats that needed to be taken care of. And so my wife was over in Winston-Salem house sitting for her boss, and about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, my phone rings. And it's my girlfriend, not my wife at the time, my girlfriend. And she's saying, "Andy, I feel really sick." She says, I just feel really sick on my stomach, nauseous. And I said, "Well, what do you need?" She says, "You know my wife, she says, I could really use some Oreos and some Mountain Dew." And so at 4 o'clock in the morning, I get up and I get dressed, and I go to the convenience store, and I get Oreos and I get Mountain Dew, and I take it over there and I drop it off and I say hello, and then I leave and I go back and finish the rest of my sleep. I wouldn't do that for a stranger, but I would do that for a friend. I'll just see what we've got in our cabinet downstairs and raid my mom and dad's pantry and take whatever we had. How about pinto beans instead of Oreos? I didn't do that. She asked for Oreos. She asked for Mountain Dew. And to show my love for her, you know what I did? I got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I went and I got Oreos and I got Mountain Dew and I took it to her. Because that's what friends do. If a friend asks you for help, you help them. You do what you can. I spent last week crawling around on my hands and knees, putting the floor down in Dan and Aurelia's mobile home. I wouldn't do that just for anybody. That is not my occupation. I can do it, but I wouldn't just do that for anybody. I do it for my friends. That's who I do it for. We cannot call ourselves a friend to Christ and go against everything He has asked us to do. We cannot call ourselves His friend and disobey His commandments. Doing shows a lack of loyalty and a lack of love. What kind of friend would you have if you told them, "Do not do this," and then they went and did the very thing that you told them not to do? And they did that continually. I'll tell you what, pretty soon I'd be finding a new friend. Because that's not a very good friend if I tell somebody, do not do something, and then they go right ahead and do the very thing that I told them not to do. What kind of friend are we to Jesus? He's our friend. He laid down His life for us. But what kind of friend are we to Him that we knowingly see the assessment of our friendship? And then I see a fourth thing. I see the acknowledgement in the friendship. Look at verse number 15. Henceforth, I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all things that I have heard of my Father I have made known. Self a friend to someone. But it's a whole different. I love the North Carolina Tar Heels. People from North Carolina should not like you because you. Well, I won't get off on that. Every famous person has wannabe friends. And the most famous person from North Carolina is Michael Jordan. Without a doubt, he's the most famous person from North Carolina. He's the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. Don't even, there's not even a debate about that. And I could travel tomorrow and I could go to Charlotte, North Carolina, where the headquarters of the Charlotte Hornets NBA team is, where Michael Jordan has an office. And I could go into the building and I could go up to the secretary and I could say, look, I'm here to see Michael Jordan. And she would say, are you his friend? Yes. I have been a friend of his since he was in college. I have watched every game and I have enjoyed every moment that I have been able to watch Michael Jordan play. I've personally met Michael Jordan. I got him to sign an autograph for me at a celebrity golf tournament. I know Michael Jordan. He is my friend. And she could call up to Mr. Jordan's office and say, well, there's some crazy lunatic down here who says he's your friend. And you know what Michael Jordan would say? I don't know him. See, I may be his friend, but he's not my friend. There's a very big difference between that. There's a lot of people who say they're friends of God. But the truth is, God doesn't know who they are. Christ said, you're not just my friend, I'm your friend. And that's a huge difference.